So basically, in 20 years, I lost myself completely.
My biggest enemy, my biggest truth is that I got a big problem with drinking. But this program helped me big time to realize and find the truth and be truth to myself.
Yes, I already stopped. Month I didn't touch, not even sip. This is where I needed to regain my power. I can definitely feel that the heaviness, it's not there. Thank you very much to give me this space, because it's just to speak about it live and loud. It's something, it's a big step for me. But to me, understanding, and obviously this program, what we do, helped me to realize what it's my biggest sabotager is, and why I can't actually be myself, or why I lost myself, or when it happened. Because when I went through the sessions, I was like, yes, the rejection, it's the biggest one, and the other ones been resonating some, but it still didn't feel like this is not it. This is not it. It's still something there, bigger, more even darker. And I was even through this process been really listening to Carl Jung, yes, the Swiss, psychologist and everything. And his, even between us, in our chat, Ozana, you've told me about this shadow. And exactly this is what I've been missing. The whole point was why I was not feeling whole and kind of empty, that I couldn't accept my dark side. I always wanted to be just the perfect girl, whatever. And then I started to disappear little bit by little bit and feel really empty. Obviously, even the people around me, the places around me where I've been going and not really saying this is enough, I don't belong here anymore. And yes, it helped me. But the biggest win I wanted to say, my biggest sabotager all along, it was my problem with drinking. So I literally needed to say that I'm kind of addict. I couldn't hold the drinking, always when I did something stupid, I couldn't kind of bear it anymore. And I don't have the cup, I don't have the lid, so I can't do little drinking. I always ended up hammered, And this is where I started to see, this is it. Because my drinking, then I started to, I wanted to apologize to everybody, like what I've done. And I started to be this small girl, this little girl, really good one, who kind of wanted to disappear in this, crap what I've done. And this is where I started to disappear. So basically, in 20 years, I lost myself completely. And now, because I see the truth and I needed to say, yes, the drinking, you are actually, like we were talking about my friend who died, and you told me, yes, it's actually been showing you the mirror. And I couldn't understand that, because I was in big denial, and she was in denial, and she died. And I'm just like, but I won't die, so this is where I am. My biggest enemy, my biggest truth is that I got a big problem with drinking. Yes. So thank you.
Well,
but this
thank
program
you for sharing.
helped me to see myself as a whole, with my biggest enemy. And at this moment, because I can speak about it openly, I can see that I'm moving forward, and I can deal with it if somebody will tell me. But I remember you drunk or pissed like a hell. I can't say yes, it was me. It's been true. It's been truth, and I've done so many. I've been in situations that you don't want to be. just because of my drinking. So, and now I want to be sober. I just don't want to touch the alcohol at all. And this is my path. But this program helped me big time to realize and find the truth and be truth to myself. So thank you. So this is me.
You know, my previous relationship was where I was kind of introduced to these parties and everything, and you know, I was, you know, the relationship was kind of manipulated, but because of my boyfriend told me that I'm his muse and, you know, the gorgeous, the most gorgeous girl, I kind of lived this life, and I kind of like then didn't see the drinking as the problem. But yeah, all along, then I carried on, and even now when I'm in this, you know, groups of friends where, you know, the drinking is still involved, I don't feel right. I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And sometimes I'm just drink just because of they drink. So even the environment, you know, I'm seeing this as my choice, and you know, I've got the power to don't go there or don't drink. You know, I still like them, that they are not bad people. But the drinking, it's just making me sick to see the bottles and see the drunk people. It just makes me sick because I know how ugly it can be, or how I could be ugly, you know, and I literally clicked, you know, I'm then different person. But yeah.
Did you decide already to stop drinking?
Yes, I already stopped. Month I didn't touch, not even sip. So it took me, yeah, it's been a month, but I still kind of didn't realize that this is the biggest. But it kind of happened in the session which I missed. You know, it was between the Christmas and New Year, I believe, or something. Then where everything happened, that my biggest realization was like, yes, it's huge, and I can't literally touch it. I know that I can't touch it. So 25 years I've been happily drinking, and now I can probably try 25 years not drink. So it's good balance, is it? It just, you know, the whole awareness, you know, to really, you know, take ourselves like the whole thing, not perfect, not bad, not good, but the whole thing. And obviously life gives us something in the way to experience something, to meet somebody like you. If I wouldn't be probably on the journey already, I wouldn't see you at that conference in Birmingham, and I wouldn't go here and speak in front of everybody, and I wouldn't realize it. Yeah, but it's huge. This is for me, and it was so embarrassing for many years. And, you know, and it doesn't mean that I can't be good, that I can't be a good person. It's kind of demon within me. You know, I was always been flirting with alcohol. I like this tipsiness, you know, I love it. But my problem is that I don't know where to stop. This is my problem. So, yeah, thank you again, you know. But like you've said, at this moment, I'm kind of proud of myself that I've said it, and that I can talk about it. That, you know, if somebody will target me or stop me like, hey, I remember the party and you've been drunk or pissed like a hell, and I'm just like, oh yeah, okay. And you know, now I would be like so ashamed, so embarrassed. I would be like sick in myself. But if I can really absorb it and say, yes, it was actually me, why not? You know, hopefully you had a, you know, I even can, the conversation around it, it's completely, you know, different. You know, I can kind of joke about it a little bit, even if it was probably quite bad. And this is where I needed to regain my power, you know, to start with this biggest demon, because I can be, you know, I can feel already that I'm a little bit witter, you know, with the answers, with the, you know, how I, you know, going in the world, you know, my power is getting back just because I realized that this is the huge thing in me. Yes. So thank you.
Absolutely. Well done. It's
Thank you.
already changed at the very beginning when you talked about it was you wanted to share and you did very well, but there were still some emotions.
Yeah.
Whereas now you're already detached.
Yes.
That's
Because
amazing.
I found it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean that I will not find something else, or hopefully I've got many happy years in front of me. But this one, definitely, because I stripped it, I found it, I just took it as mine, like Carl Jung says, take your shadow as your companion. It's not your enemy, it's your company, and take it bringing something good back, and this is amazing. But
Yeah.
without with this program, without this program, I probably, it would take me, or I wouldn't find the right person. And nobody can say what is right or wrong, but this really suits me. This whole work, everything, and your approach really suits me. Like, yeah, what we do, and this inner child, I think that it's really important, and it leads to everything else. But the inner child, it's definitely.
What is the link between the inner child wounds and the work we've done here and your realization? Because we didn't work on that piece at all here.
But it was the realization, because the rejection was my biggest wound. I realized that the rejection of like a person, I was a little girl and I loved somebody like platonically, and I was rejected. So then I obviously found this wrong boyfriend, let's put it this way, because he just told me that I'm his muse and his, the gorgeous little girl, gorgeous girl. I was back then 14. He was like 18. And because the rejection, I longed the love, the perfection, to be perfect for somebody. And this is where it started. And he obviously introduced me to the alcohol and partying. And, like I want to say, partying, alcohol, don't take me wrong. It's not wrong in the certain level. And then, but I didn't realize that I needed to take the own responsibility then, for the alcohol, which I always blamed, let's say, him. We are not anymore together because our relationship then started to be really toxic just because of the drunken situation. We've been really, really ugly. You can imagine everything happened. But I still needed to realize that now I'm responsible for the alcohol, but addiction, it stuck with me, and now I can free, I even can forgive him. I can forgive me. It wasn't his fault that I, once fell in love, and he probably fell in love with me, and this was our kind of main kind of thing, or huge thing, in our lives. But then the alcohol, I'm not with him for, let's say, 8 years. I've got new relationship, new baby. And because of a mom, I've got 2 years old. I just felt like something need to change, this, I need to lead as an example. I need to find the truth to then speak to my boy. Just tell him, I had a problem with alcohol, and and that's why, he is the new relationship, new man, because I love my new man. And obviously my little one, it was a huge push, like that it started to boil within, like something needs to happen. Yeah.
You cleared the rejection, the foundation, and the drinking just disappeared.
Yeah, or just realized, and at least I can work around it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm so happy that I can say, yes, I've got a problem with drinking. Yes. This is basically enough for me to just, few words, and this journey needed to happen to be able to say it and free it. I can definitely feel that the heaviness, it's not there, and everything, how I now act, how I can be more in power, it's just because of these few words, to not deny anymore. anymore. Not be in denial. You know, so many times I wanted to ask my friends or whoever, what do you think about me? But I was too scared. You know, it's not really often that people are asking, like, what do you think about me truly? But is it there then the question, is it really relevant? But I knew that, you know, I wouldn't really probably hear if we would be starting to speak about the alcohol, or they would say, you are fine, but the alcohol, I knew it that it would be there. Probably I would never ask, but now I don't mind. If I will ask and they will tell me, I will say yes, I was this stupid cow, I was this irritated, I was this ugly, I can say now yes. And this is so important for me, to be really empowered, the whole truth